Summertime brings with it so many fun, good things, but my next guest says it also can bring out women's innermost insecurities when it comes to their bodies. So the question on the table today, how can you push past that anxiety and move toward making peace with your body, within your body? Reva Cook is a licensed clinical social worker from the Healing Group. She joins me in studio with, I think, the million-dollar question that all women, I think at one point or the other, we have this...
Like 100 times a day.
Right? We have this complex relationship with our bodies, and I know you see this reflected in the conversations you have with your clients. Let me ask you this, why is summertime particularly tricky for women?
Summertime is such a body-conscious season. The weather heats up. We're wearing a few less clothes than we did. Right. We have water sports. So it makes sense that all of those things bring up all of the inner programming that we've developed over the years about bodies and about what bodies should look like.
So really just the swimsuit season. I mean, essentially, just having women think up or project or try to own that swimsuit season can bring up these darn feelings.
Yeah, and we get this idea that there are a certain way that we should look that is presented in our culture. We've internalized it through the years, and then we start to compare ourselves to that. And we will fall short. We will not meet up to the ideal because the ideal is kind of an artificial construct. It's not even a real person. So we're gonna fall short. And we see this in women of all shapes and sizes. Nobody is feeling great about their bodies, which helps us know it's not about the body.
Right.
It's about what's happening in your head.
Well, I was just going to say, we know that. What you described, we know. We know about the Photoshop. We know about the airbrushing, yet we still struggle. And I think you touched on the complex nature of this issue because you talked about being programmed, right? Being wired from a young age.
We live in this social soup.
Yeah,
it sinks in.
See bodies a certain way. So how do you kind of crack out of that thinking pattern?
Yes.
Is it possible?
It is totally possible. Not easy, not done in 5 minutes.
Right.
But totally possible.
You've broken it down into 4 steps today, and I love the acronym that you've attached to these suggestions, and that's play. To get out this summer, play. And the P actually stands for paying attention. What do you want us to pay attention to?
So we want to pay attention to our negative thoughts. Sometimes I give my clients what I call the mirror exercise. You take a dry erase marker, and as you're getting ready in the morning, every time you have a negative thought, you put a tick mark on the mirror. You start brushing your teeth. Oh, I wish my teeth were whiter. You put on your t-shirt. This would fit so much better if I was 10 pounds lighter.
Interesting.
By the time you're done getting ready, most people have 30 or 40 negative
I was going to say, are they shocked at the number
they're like,
of marks?
oh my gosh, of course, that's going to contribute to how you feel about yourself. All of that negativity running through your head. So pay attention. And then when you pay attention, you can decide what you want to do with it. Am I going to argue with it? Am I going to dismiss it? Am I going to counter it with a positive thought? What do I want to do? But you have to know you're doing it first.
That awareness is key. We touched on this, the media and the idealistic expectations or standards that they project into society and into our lives. And that leads into your next tip. The L is to look at the media with a critical eye. Yes,
we are bombarded by messages through media, whether that's through our social media, through our television, ads on the freeway. It is all coming at us all the time. So we want to be critical about it. We want to ask ourselves, is this making me feel better about my body? That's something to ponder.
And if the answer is no, then what are we doing? Are we turning it off? Are we challenging it, like you said, dismissing it? What's the action item there?
We can do all of those things. Some of the media that comes at us, we don't have control over.
Right.
So in those cases, we may just have to challenge that. The media that we do have control over, we can change it. We can change our focus on it. There was a research study done last year that showed that people who engage in appearance-focused media experience greater body dissatisfaction than people who engage more in non-appearance focused media.
What's appearance-focused media?
So that would be like your health and fitness bloggers or Instagram sites or magazines, fashion, things like that.
Research saying that brings us down and makes us less satisfied, actually.
Yes, so it's actually not even the amount of media, it's the type of media. So, for instance, they showed that people who were looking at travel and cooking Instagram pages didn't experience that body dissatisfaction as people who were looking at appearance focus.
So it's what you're focusing on, what you're putting in front of your eyes. The A is a big one. I really want to get your opinion on this next step in our acronym, and that's acceptance. I wish I had the exact quote in front of me, but Jennifer Lopez, singer, celebrity extraordinaire, just came out in the last week and said that she had to make acceptance with her body, which, I mean, by standards, she has a beautiful body. That said, she said, I grew up with women who had a body like mine and it was okay. I accepted it, and it was the world that told me it wasn't okay. So how can we, coming full circle, find that real rooted, sincere acceptance with what we look like?
I love that she had some examples in her life of that, because many of us don't. And acceptance is so important. We've got to start with wanting and being willing to just sit with the idea of, I can be okay with my body if it has flaws, if it's not functioning the way I want, if it doesn't look the way I want. I can still love and value it because it is the vehicle through which I live my life. I can't experience joy or pain or pleasure or people without my body. And that alone gives it value and gives it worth. And that changes how we experience different things in our lives. Little example, clothes shopping. If you go clothes shopping and you're doing it from a body negative point of view, you put things on, oh, I look fat. Oh, this is terrible. I'm a mess. I need to fix myself. Turns into hate, into self-loathing. If you go clothes shopping from a body positive acceptance point of view, you're trying things on. My body is great. This body does all kinds of good things. I have a great body. These clothes are the problem.
We'll put it on the
Totally
clothes.
different, right?
All right.
So then the challenge becomes, I have to find clothes that make me feel good, but there's nothing wrong with me.
I love that. Just a subtle mind shift. I mean, it's a big mind shift, but those words can make the difference.
It can seem like semantics, but it changes your whole perspective about the experience. You're not going down into that self-hate, shame, insecurity.
30 seconds. Give us the why. YOLO.
YOLO is all about intention, making choices based of our needs and our desires for what we want. An example, if you're going to the pool with your kids, what do I want out of this day? Do I want to have fun, play games with them? I'm going to banish those negative thoughts. I'm going to jump in the pool and do that. Or YOLO, what do I want out of this day? Mama needs a chillax. I'm going to sit here by the pool. They're going to play, explore their independence. But I'm going to feel good about either decision because I didn't make it from a place of fear and insecurity.
Yes.
I made it from a place of what I need.
I love that. Reva, thank you so much. Reva practices with the Healing Group. You can find more at thehealinggroup.com. We'll link you over from our website.